We hit 1,000 subscribers, you guys. Thank you so much for those who subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate your love and your support. I love you guys too. I know I've been missing for a while on YouTube. I had to take a break because I had so many personal and private commitments that I had to honor, and a lot of deadlines were coming upon me, and I was like, no, I cannot push this back anymore. So I had to take a break and focus on other things, and now I'm back. And I also moved to a new apartment, so that's why it's still a bit echoey here because I have not finished arranging everything. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of living abroad. It could be living abroad, could be anything really, but living in a country that is not your home country, or living an expat life where you move from country to country, this video is for you if you fall in any of these categories. Okay, now let's get into it, boys and girls. One of the first things I will tell you about the reality of living abroad is that you will miss a lot of family events and you will be homesick. Now, for those who follow me on Instagram or even on YouTube for a while, you know that I recently lost my dad a couple of months ago, and it was right in the middle of like Corona. The airports were locked. I couldn't even travel to be with my family. I was stuck here in Germany. I couldn't go anywhere. And my dad was buried. My dad was sick, first of all. I couldn't be there. I was only talking to him on the phone, video call. And then it went downhill from there and he passed on. And I was not there for these important parts, like he's been unwell and his death. And I couldn't even be there for him when he was buried. I couldn't be there for my brothers, my mom, my sister. It was really painful for me. But it's one of the realities of living abroad. This is the life I chose. So unfortunately, there was a world pandemic and everywhere was locked and I couldn't go anywhere. So just be prepared that you will miss important family events, and it's part of the journey. Also attached to this is that you will not be able to see your family often. Thank God now for like WhatsApp calls and Skype and all that. You can do video calls, but it's not the same as physically being with them. That's closeness, that's family bond. You will not see them often. The last time I saw my dad was 2 years ago, and now he's late and I'm never going to see him again. So it's like one of the things that I have to live with. I don't know how this video is getting so personal. Another con of living abroad is that you will face culture shock, of course. And if you move quite frequently, you will find that some culture shock you will face in one country will be the exact opposite in another country. I'll give an example. When I was living in Indonesia, the culture there is more non-confrontational. So people will not outrightly like tell you off if you're doing something wrong. They will find like an indirect way of telling you. It's a very non-confrontational culture. But then when I moved to Germany, Germany is very different. The people here are very direct and straight to the point. So it took a bit of adjusting in between because I moved directly from Indonesia to Germany. I had to adapt in Indonesia for the period that I lived there to not be so direct and confrontational, because in my country we direct and confrontational. So I adapted to that. And then when I moved to Germany, like I had to unadapt and readapt to what I knew before from my own home country, which is being direct and being straight to the point. But yeah, it's like sometimes a roller coaster, but that's how it is. Another con of living abroad is that every country has its own bureaucracy and process, like looking for an apartment, signing rental contracts, opening a bank account, if you have to be registered or not registered, and so on. Is such a hassle sometimes, having to learn the whole process again in a new country, how it works. Don't get me about looking for an apartment here in Germany. Oh my God. Like, I know I just moved to a new apartment, but you don't want to know the journey to finding this place. Another con of living abroad is like you're starting your social circle all again. You're starting your social life all again, and you have to make new friends. Whew. As we all know, if you're an adult watching this video, you know it's not very easy to make friends in your adulthood. So the struggle, boys and girls. And if you're like really close to expats communities, people come and people go. So maybe after investing like 1 year into making a friend, and you're happy that, oh, I finally found a friend, and the person calls you like, oh, we've been transferred, I'm now moving to another city or moving to another country, and then you have to start the process all over again of looking for friends. It's quite exhausting, but making friends is rewarding. We are social animals and we need friends, but the whole process can be quite exhausting after some time. Another con of living abroad is a language barrier. Now, depends on how you look at it. It can be a pro or a con. It can be a pro in the sense that you get to learn a new language and improve your international profile. It can be a con if the language is difficult AF and you have to invest so much time and money and resources into learning the language. So I, for instance, started to learn Bahasa Indonesia when I was living in Indonesia. But then I moved to Germany, and thankfully before I moved to Germany, I was already learning German. So when I got here, I wasn't starting from scratch. But still, now that I'm like really getting into the German, the Bahasa Indonesia I learned is already gone. Like it's out of my brain because of course, no practice. I'm not learning it every day. So it's just like, if you have to move every couple of years, then it's like, every time you have to learn a new language, and then it pushes the old one out, and so on and so forth. But I choose to look at it as a pro because then I learn a new language. I try not to forget any language I learn. Well, Bahasa Indonesia is gone, but yeah, I try not to forget anyone I learn. One of the pros of living abroad, as I found in my personal experience, is the ability to be able to explore other cultures, and it makes you grow and develop an open mind. I used to think that I was open-minded before, but now I realize like I wasn't as open-minded as I thought I was. But living abroad and traveling and experiencing different cultures has really, really, really opened my mind up to so many things, and has given me this idea of acceptance. The idea of tolerance, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. I think living abroad makes you realize that there is no single way that is the right way. The right way of doing things is relative, and what is right to you or normal to you might be abnormal to somebody else, and what is abnormal to somebody else might be normal to you. So it just makes you have this openness and tolerance of other people's points of view, cultures, way of life, and you just get more chilled, like live and let live at the end of the day, as far as you're not hurting anybody. Another pro of living abroad is that it improves your job profile actually, because many companies now are looking for people with international experience or international exposure, because I mean the world is going global, so having been able to live in a different culture and adapt is a sign that you're highly adaptable, you're flexible, and it really improves your job profile. I know that I was looking at a job of a company and some time ago, and it was not just one company, a couple of companies, international global companies that I found interesting. And one of the things I found on the requirements is that they're looking for people with international exposure, like international experience. And this experience doesn't necessarily have to be whether you worked there or not, but you were doing something in a different country that is not yours. You were able to learn the language, or you were able to whatever extent. This really, really improves your job profile. Another pro that I found for me personally, I'm talking from my experience, is that living abroad helps you to develop your interpersonal skills. Your interpersonal skill develops, and you're able to in any setting you find yourself, you're able to get in touch with people, get in contact with people. You're able to communicate better with people, talk to people, find different topics of interest, irrespective of who you're talking to. So your interpersonal skill just grows so much more, because living abroad is like you're starting your social life from scratch. So you really have to build this skill, both on the personal level and on the work level, or on the social level, and so on and so forth. Another pro of living abroad that I found is it makes you meet so many more people and have friends all over the world. I have friends now that live in Serbia. I have friends that live in Indonesia, where I was living before. I have friends from different parts of the world. So pretty much, like, if I'm traveling now, I got myself some free accommodation. You know what I'm saying? If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I love to travel a lot. And like, yeah, I'll be saving some hotel bill and Airbnb bill money, because I got so many friends all over the world. So anyway, this is one of the pros of living abroad. You get to meet different people from different parts of the world and make friends. Another pro, of course, of living abroad is you build lifelong memories. Oh my God. The memories I have now, and I'm still gonna continue building memories, because you only live once, right? But you build so many, depending on who you are, your personality. But for me, I've been able to build so many memories, because in the end, when you leave this world, the only thing you're gonna take with you is your memories, the memories you created. And for me, this is one of the most important things in life that I personally would spend my time, my resources, everything I have on, is on creating memories. So living abroad, you are able to travel if you like to travel, meet different people if you like talking to people, which I like. That's why I'm talking to you guys on camera. On YouTube. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you again for all my 1,000 subscribers. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Should I do a crazy dance? What should I do now that I have 1,000 subscribers? Should I do a crazy dance? Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you guys, and that's why I'm making a fool of myself on the internet. Oh my God. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Cheers.